Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight here on 20 Sides to Every Story. We are back after a little bit of a hiatus playing Turn of Fortune's Wheel. We're kind of moving out of Act 2 and kind of going into Act 3, so it should be exciting. Thanks for sticking it out with us. Thank you for the hype train, thanks for all the subs and cheers and things like that I see out there. Welcome in the fish 523. Doot 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 to you as well. Um, yeah. So if this is your first time joining us, we always like to start things off and invite everybody to come hang out in our Discord server. The link is there in the chat. You can come pop in there and talk with us about the games that we are streaming and playing, and maybe even link up with people to play in some games. We've got a lot of things that happen both on the stream and even a few things that happen off stream. So definitely jump in there and take a look at our LFG channel if that sounds like something that is interesting to you. As far as what we've got going on the channel this week, we're playing here tonight. Tomorrow night will be session 2 of not formally Vecna Eve of Ruin, but the prequel Adventure 2 Vecna Eve of Ruin. And I don't recall what that Vecna colon name is, but it's something related to session 0.5. Casey, the DM, is in the chat, and he can tell you all about what's in store for them. It should be a lot of fun. I think it's a level 3 adventure that they're playing right now, and then they do this like big jump. Does it start at 10 or 11? Something like that. It's going to be the new hardcover that's coming out this week. It's either this week or next week. I don't remember, but brand new campaign to be following, so definitely stop by and check that out. And I think that's all we got for the week. So a couple of opportunities to catch us live. So we're gonna get right into it here tonight and pick up where we last left off. Just a brief little kind of synopsis of where we're at or where we're headed. The characters some time ago had received this device. It's shaped in the form of a skull, and it's got cogs and wheels and machinery, but it is also imbued with magic, and it is something that the characters had identified pretty early on as being a receptacle for memories and information and experiences, kind of a mix of all those things. And they have been going about across the Outlands trying to figure out how to repair some of the damaged data that was missing from it. And I believe at this point, now that you've repaired the last memory that was missing for it to activate, it has shared with you a little bit of information about itself, in that it is a modron device, and it was recording, or its data points were related to recording the movements of the Great Modron March, which you maybe don't know the full significance of that, but you do know that it is now leading you, and it seems to be intentionally instructing you to the next destination along its path, which would be Dendradis. And Dendradis is, we'll say that I don't know if you've really asked a lot of information from the Mimir about Dendradis, but it would tell you the skull, the Mimir would have some information about it. It would tell you that this is I think it would classify it as a city at the built into the Spire, which is probably a strange thing for your characters to learn. I don't think you had any indication that people lived in the Spire. You probably thought of it more as like a mountain or something like that, or even maybe as an extension of Sigil. Because Sigil sits at the top of the Spire. But that is the information you get, is that it is a city built into the side of the Spire. And it is populated by beings of absolute neutrality called the Rilmani. I'm trying to think, like, you can ask questions about Romani and things like that, but what are like the the bullet points of Romani? Um, they kind of like crystalline looking figures that you might mistake for being a construct if you saw them, but really they are of more of a celestial nature. Like they are living, like they're not constructed. They're kind of beings of a higher order. But anyway, this is where they live, and it would seem that this is the next destination that the Mimir is leading you to. And at this point, based on the association of this thing with the modron Rome, you're thinking it might be a clue as to where he went next, or where you might be able to find him. And the Mimir is pulling you in that direction. And you also know from the past session that Shemeshka, who had sent you on this kind of this little task, right, to find her accountant Modron, is clearly a farce, and you don't really know what her motivations are or why she sent you out to find this Modron, but there's something more to this Modron, and you're associated with him somehow. You've had a lot of information come up through your journeys in the Outlands that, I mean, you heard from your time dragon friend that there was a time when you all were together. He remembers that. So it would seem that all signs point to you need to find Rome to maybe get some more information about not only who you are, but what is happening to you and what is happening to the entire multiverse, because you have seen evidence that things are not okay. Things are breaking. It's not just you, but there's something bigger happening. There are fiends and demons where they shouldn't be. You saw at one point something that maybe felt like an illusory march of Modrons traveling through the Outlands, but it wasn't exactly illusory because there was almost like this fiendish influence in the area, and you were attacked by these creatures with faces on them that looked like faces you remember from dead past selves. There's just been all sorts of things happening that just suggest that there's something larger afoot. And so it is imperative that you find Rome and start to put some pieces together to see if you can figure out what is going on and can you put a stop to it somehow. There might be details that we're forgetting that will come into play later, but that's sort of hopefully jogging some memories, as it's been a little bit since we last played. But before we dig into any kind of in the moment narrative, why don't we just start off with some character introductions and remind ourselves who we're playing and all that kind of thing. So we'll go around the virtual table here. Just give us like an introduction about who your character is, and then I posted in our private chat a little question for you to respond to, and that is, that soon you hopefully are going to get some answers to your questions. What is the thing that is weighing most heavily on your character in terms of a fear? What are they afraid could be true? What are they afraid of learning about themselves? And we're going to just go right along from left to right along the bottom of the screen here. We'll start with you, Isaac.
Hello, I'm Isaac. I am playing Zilloff. Zilloff is currently a wild magic dwarf barbarian. He so far it's a story of despair that has turned to hope and now maybe acceptance. For him, in a nutshell, he I guess as far as what he is kind of worried most about is if he's worried that this will, whatever happens, will undo what has come to pass and what he has learned about forgiving himself and accepting kind of things that have happened. So I think his biggest, it's just the unknown of what will happen once we complete this mission, and kind of what will happen to the party who he's come to care a lot about.
Thank you. Let's move next to Robyn.
Hi, I'm Robyn. I'm playing Cerebella Storm, who is currently an Orc Wizard. Used to be, Nebraska runner-up to a beauty pageant, Queen of the Corn, but right now has really learned a little bit more about not being quite so self-centered, not being quite so appearance focused, really starting to feel like she matters to the people that she's traveling with and matters to the world around her. And I think that would be her fear, like learning that she's inconsequential. Like all along, she's wanted to go back to Nebraska, back to her life, back to her appearance. But now I think there's the fear of what if I go back and I'm meaningless, and I don't matter anymore. I can't do this magic and influence the world and save people.
Awesome. Let's go next to Dawson.
Hi everybody, and I'm Daw, and I'm playing Baldwin, Plasmoid Ranger, who now has a renewed lease on life, being a slime dude, I guess, because that's completely normal for a normal person to go into. And I would say, as where his main concern is, well, one, if this is all even real, if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, he's a very sick man, and who knows, it could be a weird fever fantasy dream. And two, that it's if it is real, more or less similar to the Zilloff issue is, do we just go back to what we were before? Can we stay as we are? Am I just gonna die under a tree again? I don't know. Kind of like, oh, are we really doing the right thing from a very selfish perspective of things? So yeah, there's that.
Awesome. And the fish says, "Damn, that fear is solid, Cerebella." So we got some things that are resonating. Maybe,
Existential crisis, man.
yeah. Okay, let's go next to Jenna.
I'm Jenna. I'm playing a human artificer. And I think something that they're kind of fearing is similar along the lines to like what other people are feeling, like what happens in the after, like because like they've met the time dragon, so are things kind of gonna be reset? Is like what they feel to be is progress going to be lost, like in terms of like kind of what like they've learned about themselves, and maybe like a little bit of like if they meet this Rome, because apparently the group had in like some form or another has done this run before and with varying degrees of success or failure. Part of him wonders if like if it like at some point like maybe like he was kind of like a reason for the failure, because he's kind of like a little bit selfish in the past, so like part of him wonders like could this have been done sooner, or like is he like putting too much like emphasis like on himself already, because like he's like he likes to think of himself as like a big player when he's not, so like he's kind of like he's got a mix of like he's like I've learned so much, and he's like wait, was I the problem again or no, and like or is it like something else, so he's like I think he's like kind of he'd probably be going back and forth and like trying to figure out like actually yeah maybe a little bit of cerebellaness too, like all right, is the stuff that we're doing actually mattering right now, or is it just like kind of like a role of like it just kind of like a random thing, like this just happens to be the one that worked out well and there was no actual control involved, so he's bip bopping between different thought processes right now, and he probably wants to be a little ignorant, but he's also curious too. I think that's kind of where he's at.
Awesome. I was just thinking, like, it'd be interesting to see if we went back to Sigil. What factions would the groups, would the various characters be leaning towards at this point versus at the beginning? All right, and let's go next to Lyra.
Hi, I'm Lyra. I'm playing Baz. He is from an aristocratic family background, but he's come a long way since then. Currently an Eladrin druid, because this is a couple Bazes in now. I think that as far as fear go for him, I think that Baz thought of the world. He was naive. He was young, but he was naive, and he sort of thought that there was a good line between good and evil, pretty solid break there. And I think that with everything that's happened, he's seeing that there's a lot more like of a gray area in there, like a sliding scale. And I think that his fear would be about where he would land on that scale now that he's gone through what the party's gone through all this time, after seeing a lot of brutality and violence that I don't think that Basilic sort of would have thought was necessary in most of these cases. But yet it happened, and the party, in some cases, really unable to affect the result very much. So, yeah, I think that's his fear right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. So I think we will say that it's been several days now since you left Rigus, I think was the last location that you were at, and you've been traveling now over land. You've got all these things that you all are talking about weighing on your mind. There was that encounter with the son of the bounty hunter that you killed that you dealt with. There was, I think, a few conversations that you've had with Zillon, the thing that Cerebella is sort of keeping as a pet that has a draconic
he's
face.
My child. He's not a pet.
He's an equal member of the group. And he's grown fairly large in a very short amount of time over these past few days, but he's still hanging out. You've had some conversations with him, and just probably conversations you've had with one another, trying to sort out these various thoughts or feelings that you're having as you approach the Spire. And I think we're going to say that you're all, what's going to be evening time, it's dark. There's sort of this mirage of stars in the sky that shimmered down, whether you believe that that's an actual starry night above you or just some phenomenon of the cosmos, but it does leave you with a familiar feeling of camping or being outside in your own native homes, and have found a place to kind of set up your tents and bedrolls or whatever you have with you to go into your nighttime procedures. And you're sitting on this plateau, and you can see that you have made progress. The Spire can't be more than a day's travel ahead of you, and you're settling down. You're maybe getting a campfire going. This is the same routine that you've been doing these past few days, and there's been weeks and weeks of travel between each of the gate towns. You've been out here for easily over a month at this point, and the fatigue is probably setting in a little bit, and there haven't been a lot of answers coming, but you're feeling like you're on the precipice of something. You can feel it literally just by gazing at the Mimir, that it is drawing you closer, and you can feel something's going to give. And so I guess just check in with everyone. What are all your characters doing in the waning hours of the day right before nighttime, and setting your watches and things like that?
I'll go first. I'd probably find myself off kind of like laying down next to a tree, just looking up at the stars as best I can with no eyes, I guess. I don't know how that all works still. Mask off, and just, I guess, audible sighs could be probably heard as he's just staring up.
All right, that's what's going on with Baldwin. How about others?
I think Clack would probably, first thing, like after getting everything set up, he would probably be sitting down, like the pieces of his armor lying around, just kind of just futzing with it and like doing like little little tweaks, readjusting, like any of like the little magical like wires and like where they connect, and like maybe there's like a few little like puffs of like little explosions, like whoop, not that one, and like it just kind of like keeps going. And like once he's kind of like satisfied with like kind of fine tuning everything, I don't know, maybe he'll just kind of take a minute to also like enjoy the night sky, just kind of like lay down and like mentally reset. Maybe see what uh maybe see what his friend who's also lying down is thinking, but just kind of just taking it easy.
Sounds good. How about Baz?
I think that during the travel, Baz has been staying out. If camp would be set up, he would go out into the woods to basically be around the trees and have some quiet time out there. And I think that as they're drawing closer to the destination and not sure what's going to be happening here, I think he's probably trying to figure out all this magic stuff that he's got now, because this isn't what he remembers, and sometimes he can do things that kind of surprise him. So I think he wants to get a better handle on what is going on and how to intentionally do things, because I think that he's sort of becoming a more focused and more serious at this point.
Sure. Yeah, practicing a little bit of the new tools, and probably not unlike what Clack has had to do with like all this. I've got these talents, and it doesn't feel right that I should have them, but yet here they are, and just kind of confirming that everything works and getting comfortable with that. How about Zilloff?
I would say Zilloff is to the point where he is just kind of humming along, kind of staring at the fire, playing the instrument that Baz had given him. He is just kind of just freestyling at this point, kind of no longer kind of hesitant to even play. He's just playing and strumming like he used to.
Is it good?
Do you want me to roll for it?
Sure.
Okay. It was good last time. We'll see if it's good this time.
Ooh.
It would be that plus 4, so 14.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. But he doesn't, I think it doesn't even bother him that even if it was like shitty, he's still just kind of humming along.
What is the instrument?
What was it called? Do you remember?
It's a dulcimer.
Okay.
A dulcimer, yeah.
Now, is that an instrument that the Dragonborn Zilloff of Greyhawk would have played?
He would have played a lute, but it's very similar.
Okay.
So, yes, it is similar enough to where the same feeling is there.
Okay. So this music is just like everybody perceives it. For Baz, it's probably very, very distant, but I think it still carries, and you can hear it from the distance away that you are from the camp. But Cerebella, what are you up to?
So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to go back to Nebraska. And if I do, I don't know if Zillon's going to come with me or not, right? So I've got to prepare him for possibly having to live on his own, to be more independent. So I've been doing a little bit of teaching and just trying to teach him some life skills. The things that I've learned about life. I have parchment and my ink, and I'm just writing some notes. Like you gotta, if you don't remember, I'm gonna write these down so you have them even if I'm gone. I don't want to leave you. I'm not abandoning you, but I can't. I don't know how this is gonna work. So you really got to pay attention, Zillon, and learn these skills. You might have to take care of yourself.
You can just see as you're talking to Zillon, Draconic, like he's like probably as tall as like your shoulders at this point. Like he has gotten massive.
Wow.
And
I didn't get that.
That is way bigger than I anticipated.
I'm like cat. Like because she's at work.
No, he's like a big like Beethoven dog.
Oh my god.
Baby is getting so big.
And he's just got that pained expression of a draconic figure on his face, but he's just really a slug body. And as you're saying stuff to him, you can see that he keeps looking over at Zilloff in this music, and he's like, "Oh, can you please tell that phony baloney to stop playing? He's just rubbing it in my face."
I think he just likes it. Like, just let him enjoy it. That's a good thing to learn in life. Sometimes you just put on a smile and enjoy things because other people around you find that important.
Why do you all keep calling him Zilloff?
Well, it's a name.
Well, this is my name. You keep calling me Zillon. That's not my name.
Do you want me to call you Zilloff too? That could be kind of confusing.
I'm just really confused as to why am I here and why is this a part of it? Is this a part of my punishment?
I think we've all asked ourselves that question. I don't know the answer. I used to think so, but it doesn't feel as much like a punishment anymore. Maybe it's an opportunity. I didn't always look like this either, and I found it very insulting, but there's some handy things. Pretty resilient. I go down, I bounce back up again. That's pretty, the endurance is relentless. Maybe you've got some hidden talents too now that you didn't have before.
I don't really think so. But I'm gonna. You don't have to teach me all. I know all of these things. I know how to take care of myself, and I can eat.
Learner, you're so smart.
No. Please, can we just tell him to maybe keep it down a little bit?
Do you play an instrument? Do you wanna play? I have
Yes.
a drum. I have a drum you can play. You could join. It can be Zilloff and Zilloff. If you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where?
Here, I have a little hand drum. This is for some reason.
Dong,
This is a
dong,
music.
dong, dong. Yeah, it feels a
What?
little better.
Yeah, you got such rhythm. No, you go over there. Go play with Zilloff and you guys,
Okay.
you guys bond a little bit.
So
That'll be
Zilloff,
good for you.
you're playing your instrument. Pretty soon you see the little Zillon worm is just like inching over, nudging this drum over by you.
Hey.
Hi,
Uh,
can I play with you?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember
Yeah.
that song that we enjoyed?
How do you know that?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that I'm you, but somehow I don't know.
Yeah, it must be nice.
We're the same. It wasn't. I know. It was rough. I know. I'm pretty sure this music kind of bothers you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but let's make the
I'm
most of
sorry.
it. I'm trying to live vicariously through you, you phony baloney.
No, I remember. I used to say that a lot.
Yeah,
didn't
I did. I don't know what you did, but I said it a lot.
I
did.
know. No, okay. Yeah, you did.
Dong,
You did.
dong,
Silly. Oh, okay.
dong.
All right. Okay. Pick it up. There we go.
My head hurts.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna cut for a moment over to where Baz is, and Baz, would you say give me an example of maybe like a spell that you're currently in the midst of practicing?
I think that okay, so let's see. He would be trying to work on this ice knife thing that he does that kind of like flicks his hand and this thing happens, and he's trying to understand how that's all working. Goes pretty far. Not sure how far he can do that.
Sure. So kind of like target practice up against a tree or at some things.
Yeah, accuracy, moving back a little bit. Like, how does this work? Can I do it with both hands?
Yeah. So you're getting like the feel you're doing that and shooting that off, and maybe starting with the side of a tree, and then you maybe start by trying to make it project further, that kind of thing. While you're doing all this, give me a perception check.
It's the 23.
23. So very, very, very much so. Even with the music that's playing on the, and now there's a drum that you're hearing. Your ice knife is making kind of a sound as it shatters or whatever. But through all these noises, you hear something very distinct coming away from the camp. It's not coming from the camp. It's coming like opposite the camp. And there's branches that are snapping, and not just branches on the ground, but it almost sounds like limbs off of trees are cracking and breaking and then falling to the ground.
And so that sounds like it's like out, like farther away from camp.
Yeah, like it's pretty far away, probably. Like it's in the woods with you, but it's not right up on you. It's probably several hundred feet away.
And it just sounds like trees are getting broken and destroyed.
Well, then there's another sound that just it sounds like rapidly limbs of trees are falling, almost like swords and machetes, like striking very rapidly, several of them almost in unison against like brush and just
All right,
like
he's
grinding
coming
it up.
from like the timber industry. He's gonna be like, okay, something sharp and dangerous is coming, and he's gonna run back and try to gather people. Like if he sees Baldwin there, he's gonna be like, something's coming, something's coming. I'm hearing something coming, and it doesn't sound I don't know. It sounds, maybe it's mechanical. I don't know, but it sounds like it might be coming our way, and I think we should be alert. So I try to get everybody, focused on what's happening. And then if it's possible, like, is there anywhere to go that you could get a better look?
I'm kind of picturing that the camp is up on this plateau, and you probably have the high ground looking down at where of that copse of tree, that forest kind of that you were at. Like you probably had to run up a hill to get back to camp, so you'd be like looking down at. So you have a good vantage point, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, from the camp towards where the woods are. That if it emerges, you would see it.
And do I see anything though that's matching with the sound?
Not currently. Let's just check in and see.
Okay.
The alert has been brought before the group. Is there anything that anybody wishes to do in preparation?
Do one last gaze upwards. I let up another sigh. I will put on the mask, retrieve my equipment, and be ready for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Clack would be quickly getting up to start putting all the bits and pieces on and getting himself ready as well.
Yeah, I think I would definitely like grab my axe and stand up and maybe just tell Zillon. I'd ask him really quick before this happens. I'd ask him, "Are you sorry? Are you sorry about what happened?"
I did the best. I made a bad choice for a good reason.
Yeah, we did. But it's a gift that you're still here too. I gotta get going. We'll talk later.
You just see like it definitely, you put him right into like introspection mode, which is probably most of what he has been doing since like prior to joining the group. And he's like right back to like, yep, back in hell, thinking about all the bad things I did that put me here. So he just kind of nods, and you jump into action, getting ready for whatever might emerge. All right. So the group is all kind of like waiting, ready, and probably several minutes pass by before something emerges from the woods, but something does come out. And it is this definitely something that looks like a construct. Its entire body is looks like it's made of like adamantine or some very very rare metal. It's hard to kind of identify, but it looks durable. It's got a head that kind of swivels on an axis, not unlike like a golem or something like that, and it's got 4 arms, each one wielding a sword. And from some slits in its head, seems to kind of resemble eyes. There's kind of like this azure blue glow that comes from that. So you can queue up all your Star Wars references or jokes or your General Grievous, whatever. This is what comes out of the woods there. And as it emerges, it like seems to those blades, it just seems to like sheath all of them, like in like there's like slots in its body where these things just like plug in and receive, you know, allows them to be stored in its body with just like the handles like sticking out in various places around its upper torso. And then it seems like it's like kind of scanning or looking around, and eventually its head like looks up at like where your campfire is, and you can see it's like starting to approach.
Do you come in peace?
It like turns and it gazes at you, Clack, and it says, "My purpose is to ensure the natural order and laws of the multiverse, that they are respected across the multiverse. I am authorized by the Fraternity of Order to gather facts regarding alleged and repeated infractions of these laws. Any information you provide will be used to assess the balance and integrity of multiversal order and render a verdict against you in the ladies' courts. Your cooperation and commitment to honest and thorough answers is," like pulls out all of its swords, whirs them around, "is advised."
You can't see it because one piece of slime, but underneath the mask, like he would just mouth the word "fuck" underneath.
Question 1. Can you provide your names, origins, and identifying details?
He's just gonna look at everyone else like,
Let's start with you.
Oh no.
And you don't
I
like
am-
if you don't want to like go through a whole thing, you could just say like you could just describe like the types of information that you say or whatever.
Yeah, he would probably give his name. What were the other questions?
Names, origins, and like it seems like it's a catch-all. Give me all of the information about you kind of question.
Oh, okay. I think he'd just start with his name and like just start there and then see what other like specific things he wants from there. Just Clack.
And he goes around. He'll look at like Baldwin next. And you,
Sure.
sir. Goes around.
Information.
Baz. He'll look at you.
I'll just say I'm Baz.
Zilloff.
Yeah, hey, I'm Zilloff. I'm not sure where this is from, but this person, but I guess, you ever heard of Greyhawk area? Maybe like,
I am familiar.
okay, yeah. But the defining feature I would say is my voice, maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
Does that work for you?
Suspect has a beautiful voice. Recorded.
Yeah, cool.
He looks over at Cerebella.
So it's a little complicated because most of the memories seem to be from Nebraska. Cerebella Storm, nice to meet you. But this body isn't from Nebraska. No idea where that came from. And I do have a few memories from a couple different entities, somebody on a ship. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Have you experienced death and subsequent death and resurrections multiple times? If so, please describe each occurrence.
I think I died in a storm. It's kind of hazy. The storm was too, but you know. Don't know if I've died since then, but I don't know where the other memories are coming from. It's kind of complicated.
Suspect
like I
seems
said.
confused. How about the rest of
Yeah.
you? Have you experienced multiple deaths with resurrections with no explanation?
Who's the site it works for again?
Let me remind you that the information obtained here should your cooperation is appreciated and mandatory
By whom?
by the Fraternity of Order.
Ladies' courts, you know. The lady?
Which lady?
Lady of Pain?
Don't answer his questions. I want him to answer it.
Oh,
Authority is granted by the Lady of Pain to the Fraternity of Order to carry out justice and ensure that the lady's law is adhered to.
Yeah.
And who is this Fraternity of Order? Is that
I'll
one of
ask
those?
the questions here, bub.
Well, to be honest, you kind of did just roll up on our camp and start demanding us questions in the place right now. It's kind of weird. It's like our home away from home. You just wander up and just demand these things. I really give you my name. I just want to at least give it like a give and take thing, you know?
The Fraternity of Order is trying to assess your guilt and subsequent enforcement actions, up to and including lethal measures that may be carried out by trained professionals in accordance with the lady's law. This is a fact-finding mission.
So would you really want, like, order's important. I think we all agree on that, right? We like order. We don't like the chaos that's happening where things are happening that shouldn't be happening. But wouldn't you, sir, I didn't catch your name, but wouldn't you want to trace it to the roots, to the origin? Like, what if someone is like an innocent bystander that just got caught up in the, you know, the order storm that's happening right now? Wouldn't you want to get to the heart of the issue and address it there, rather than maybe eliminating some of the only people that would be able to give you information to get you there?
Ma'am, what I want to do is carry out my mission by...
Yeah, and that would do it, right? You got to figure out how to reestablish order.
I have a series of questions that I need to ask you and then report back to the Fraternity of Order.
So you're just a middleman. You're kind of a, you know,
Please
errand boy.
don't belittle my yes, but yet don't.
You're not the one that would be removing the demons from a certain area that they don't belong. That's not you.
I have not been told to remove any demons from any area. I have been told to ask routine questions related to multiversal glitches. Next
When you
question.
find the answers, buddy, we want to know them too.
By what means have you come back to life? Resurrection, reincarnation, necromancy, divine intervention, all of the above, none of the above?
I'm gonna lean over to Baldwin and be like, do you think we could just say, like, I don't know? Or... Because I don't think I really know.
I don't know. I guess my parents gave birth to me at some point. Does that count? I mean, if you really think about it, I heard of a philosophy farther to the east that is really heavily into the whole reincarnation thing.
Yes, reincarnation is a valid form of resurrection.
But what if you don't really know for sure if you were for someone before than who you are now? Because that's kind of how
Ben,
the whole
you should say
reincarnation
that.
process works.
You should say that.
The truth is paramount.
Possibly reincarnation? It's really fuzzy.
Very difficult to say.
Aren't we all
You-
reincarnated in someone's eyes? You know what I'm saying? I heard someone has an old soul.
I have heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Or young
Suspects
heart.
are evasive. Next
I hear
question.
that a lot.
We're answering your questions to the best of our
We
ability.
don't know the answers to your questions. I don't know if you know how you were created.
Have you died?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they'd like to hear
Not
a
yet.
song. Do you want to hear a song?
Not yet.
Have you learned to love?
Hmm.
Are,
Now, those are the important questions.
are we done with your questions? Can we go back to mine?
I think we made him uncomfortable.
I just don't understand how to give him the answers he's wanting. Like those options, I don't know what necromancy. How does that work? Does that
Can
mean
we-
you're I don't get it.
You know,
Can we at least see some
necromancer.
credentials or something? Right? That's something.
Those are
Okay.
swords.
I mean,
Fandom is not going to get you any of them, bud.
Can you identify any divine beings, arcane entities, or other powers involved in your resurrection?
Arcane beings, divine.
no.
I don't think
No.
so.
Probably
Probably
not.
not. Not identify, no.
Can
Think
it
Is
be
so.
there, is there a will you can tell? Do you know of someone who can do this?
Yeah, do they like leave a birthmark or something, or like?
They don't know. Next question. Have your resurrections caused any noticeable imbalance or disruptions in your home plane or elsewhere in the multiverse?
No.
It'd be great to be able to see my home plane and know what happened there. Again, insufficient data. None of us are plane hoppers. Well, not in the sense that, not in any special sense.
Thank you for your cooperation. Your answers will be reviewed by a panel in Sigil by the Fraternity of Order, and in 3 to 5 business days, subsequent action will be taken on your case.
I was really hoping there would be a X amount of business days until we get a response.
Good day. He just turns around.
Wait,
Starts
don't you
marching
want
away.
to... Haven't you had a long day? Don't you want to rest a little bit?
No.
I mean, even contracts need breaks.
He just keeps marching. There's a
Was
wave.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that
Waves.
the
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
we ran away from? Was that the Fraternity of Order?
I don't think so. No, that was a different group.
That was, the harmoniums or something, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay. I knew I ran away from somebody. I just didn't know who I might have pissed off at the time. So this is another group that we potentially pissed off. Okay.
What
I
I'm
seriously still do not remember that. I was completely blackout drunk.
Yeah, I remember things
I
were
remember
a little
that.
darker for you at that time. That's right. You've really grown a lot, haven't you, in this adventure?
Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. What were you saying?
Me? Or
No, Dawson.
her? Okay.
Dawson,
Yeah.
what were you saying?
Who is this Dawson you spoke of?
Sorry.
I'm
Sorry, Isaac said
Baldwin.
Dawson.
Well, from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like one of the factions of Sigil. Maybe it's because apparently according to the lady's law or whatever. Maybe it's like her own group.
Yeah.
Did we? Yeah. What factions did we see? We saw the dead guy one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Most
you've
of
seen the
Taylor's harmonium.
Dusters.
The
I
Dusters.
think
The information libraries.
Zilloff had received a stone from one of the sensates, I think, that was asking him to
yeah, that's
record
right.
His pain.
his pain. Yeah. The Mercy Killers are in charge of the prison. So, I mean, you've been around the Outlands, like you probably picked up on little pieces. If that had been a harmonium thing, like he would have initiated combat with you, but he is with the closely related but distinct. I guess the governors is kind of, I don't remember what a fraternity of order serves as like the judges. They're the ones that carry out and ensure that law is like interpret law, I guess, and they're the lawyers, the judges, the administrators, those kinds of things. They run the bureaucracy.
Not the punishers or
not the
like
enforcers or punishers.
not the
or
makers of
jailers.
law. Yeah.
Yeah. But they all kind of are somewhat aligned in philosophy on the law side of it, just like what part of it do they focus on or hold as like the most important, right?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, I think we did the best we could. Those were
I don't
some
feel
strange
like I don't.
questions.
Yeah, I don't feel like I lied at all. I feel like we're pretty truthful.
How do they know where to find us? Everybody can find us.
Well,
He's
we
gonna
are
start,
like next to the spire. It's just right there.
True. He's gonna just start like picking at the pieces of his armor, just seeing if there's any like little like magical thing or something that's allowing him to be tracked, or like just like doing like a thorough self-examination.
Yeah, it sounded though more like they kind of were just, it's whoever they found they were going to ask. So that's what it seemed like anyway.
Maybe we create some sort of like disturbance, disturbance in the order.
It sounds like.
I hope not. If we do, we'll find out in about a week, I guess.
What was it, 3 to 5 business days?
5 business days, yeah.
What's a business day? We don't have those where I'm from.
Isn't every day a business day in some way?
That's so, but it was very specific in his wording.
Yeah.
Well, as that business comes to a close for now, Zilon is going to go and kind of crawl over to wherever near where Cerebella's stuff is and just kind of pass out somewhere. How about the rest of you? Is this going to be coming to a close of the day, or is there stuff yet to do or talk about?
Clack might offer to like do like a night watch sort of thing, and then like take his sleep later, just in case.
If that's what we're doing, then yeah, then Baz would take a watch too.
Sounds good. So you all, set up your watches and all that kind of thing. There is nothing that disturbs your rest here tonight. If you haven't done a long rest on your character sheet, go ahead and do so now at this time. And in the morning, you will pack up your things and look towards the spire. And you have a pretty good sense that today is the day that you'll be making your arrival. And let's see. We got a lot of new people in the chat here. That's awesome. So welcome, Jacko Boom. Good to see you. And Hika, good to see you as well. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. So you all pack up your things and you start to kind of make your way down from the plateau and take the hike down to lower lying ground, which brings you towards the spire. And at some point, you're looking up, and the Mimir is really pulling you towards that giant pillar of rock that goes up thousands of feet into the sky. And you can see very, very far away, just, right at the top, Sigil hanging like a halo over the spire. And you've watched several times this landmark, I guess, in the distance when you were further away. There's at least one or two occasions where you saw that it looked like it was broken and that the whole thing was shattered and just pieces of it floating midair until, with time, it seems like it resolved itself or healed itself. Perhaps another glitch or another thing that's just not right with the multiverse. But today, as you were looking up, it is whole. And the Mimir kind of pulls you towards the spire, towards there's like this, you wouldn't have seen it if you were really, really far away from the spire, but right at the place where you're kind of becoming parallel with the spire, you're looking up and you can see that there's like a crack in the side of it. It's not like running up the entire length of it, but just like a little fissure. I shouldn't say little, because it's quite enormous actually, but just like you can see it from a distance, and you know that that's where the Mimir is drawing you towards. And as you get closer and closer to it, you start to see that seam comes into greater view, and the closer and closer you get, you can see that it is actually filled with this almost pretty bizarre, I guess. It's like a city of spires, of these crystalline spires that kind of make almost like this lattice in the fissure, almost like it's towers, and then each of the towers has like various crystal like bridges and walkways around the towers, and it just I can share this little image with you. It's not popping up on my screen exactly how I would like it to. It's kind of a weird one to share here on the screen for people at home watching us, but
Oh yeah.
there it is.
Tall.
Yeah, it's kind of a tall image, but I think you get the idea. It's almost like these towers just fill in that cavity and kind of create this weird, it's almost like crystalline skyscrapers that are filling that space, and then just like skywalks in between all of them. And there's something in the crevice, and you see it as you get closer and closer and closer. There's like this obscure, gigantic shape in the cavity. It looks like I don't think calling it a giant is really accurate. It's like a titan that is encased behind these towers and everything like that. A multi-limbed body. And it almost seems like the city itself is being built up over the crevice to like hide that thing, that entity. And so as you're looking up, so like this seam is like some hundreds of feet up, but there is a singular tower that meets the ground where you could see a kind of like a gate, I guess, like double doors, crystalline doors at the base. And there are two gray figures with armored bodies and bladed limbs that flank the gate. So your suspicion is like this is the entrance. Like probably you go into this first tower and there's like a staircase or an elevator or something that would bring you up to where the rest of that city is.
Do the armored, multi-limbed individuals look similar to the one that we just met the other night?
They do not.
Or are these different?
They look, I guess, whereas the thing you saw the other night probably looked more like a construct in terms of joints and really rigid angles and things like that. These individuals also look metallic, but their body structure is more curved, if that makes sense. Like rather than having like rigid joints and things like that, it would be like an arm that's almost just like kind of curvy, or its legs. I think I could probably pull up an image of what a real Mani looks like.
Like they're crystalline in structure, but they have organic shapes. That's how I'm trying to picture it.
It's not right. This one.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Looks like a character from like a Magic the Gathering card.
Yeah.
Definitely a good way to put it. We're in the ballpark anyway, right?
Yep.
That like 100% describes what it looks like.
Double dipping.
Yeah, these are Zendikar. Oh, it's a Pokemon. Okay. Yeah, I guess it could be a Pokemon too. Yeah, whatever. Whatever your touch point is, that's what it is.
So there's two of these guys down here by these doors, but then this building activity that's happening up here, can we see like what's building it? Is it the Titan building it, or is it something else to cover the Titan?
The Titan is unmoving. But as you look up there, you can see things that look similar to this, like on the bridges and walkways, you know, like just like they're like tiny ants how high up they are, you know. That's how they you perceive their size, like, and they're all like they have
Like the dozers
building...
and like Fraggle Rock.
Yeah. They've got like building materials and tools, and they seem like they are constructing new towers, right? Like probably like a lot of their tools maybe seem more like welding kinds of things, because they're like shaping crystal. Like somehow they're manifesting and like shaping this material to like construct more of the tower, and filling in that gap. But it seems like it must be an incredibly slow process to make these huge structures. But yeah, there's workers up there.
Clack, is the Mimir telling us to go this way?
Yeah.
So I guess we gotta go this way.
Yeah.
What are we gonna tell them when we get there? We're just gonna ask
We're
about.
looking for a person of interest, and we have a reason to believe that they're here.
Can I look
Have
at
you
the
seen
Mimir?
such and such?
Yeah. Can I look at the Mimir and ask what is the significance of Dendradis?
Sure. You look at it, and like its eyes light up and glow once again, and it starts to kind of project like a little map of the Outlands, and like there's the Spire, and then there's like a little arrow that's like Dendradis. It's like, you know, another Pokemon reference. It's your Pokédex. It's like Dendradis, the home of the Romani, is located at the base of the Spire in the middle of the Outlands. And as you ask about its significance, it would say that it is the home of the Romani, who are stewards of neutrality and balance throughout the multiverse.
Does the Mimir know? Clack is gonna ask, do we go against the neutrality of the multiverse? See if the Mimir would know anything about that.
Oh, like if we would be seen as not
Yeah.
neutral because of our very existence?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Just like
Well,
Chat
definitely
GPT.
balance.
it like pauses for a long time trying to figure out like, because you just asked it like a judgment question, so it's like trying to figure
Yeah.
out a way to give you like a objective
Neutral answer.
answer. And so
Yeah.
eventually it responds with Romani normally do not allow outsiders into their communities without a Romani. Non-Romani are not usually allowed in their communities without a Romani escort, is what he would say.
How
Does-
does oh, sorry, go ahead.
Do you think the Ramirez know what that big statue thing is?
I was curious about that too. Asking about the big statue.
Even longer pause.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Uh-oh.
And eventually it would respond with, this is a fact that is extremely guarded by the Romani. No information on what this is has been recorded.
So maybe we don't lead with asking questions about it. When
Yeah.
yeah.
That is good to know, because that definitely would have been something that I asked, like, "Hey, what's up with the big statue?" in the I had another question. What was it? I just had it.
I think you led it with how do we.
Oh, how do we get an escort? Sorry, how do we get a Romani escort?
It doesn't respond to that. Like, again, it's like, it would say something like, have you checked nearby to see if there's any Romani? Like, it would give you like some stupid answer, like, first, step 1, locate a Romani. Step 2, foster a
Yep.
relationship. Step like, it would give you that kind of an answer.
Yeah. Like,
It's not a bad answer. Maybe we just go up and ask, and maybe one of them will escort us through the city.
let's establish a relationship.
Oh, we're really good at that. This group, come on, we can do that.
Every relationship starts with a hello.
We've had nothing but great
Aw.
luck with our charisma and speaking with people
Every single time.
every single time. We do so good.
How will this be no different?
Oh,
I don't see it being a problem, but do you guys think I should put the Mimir away for some reason, or should I leave it out? I have no reason for it. It's just a gut feeling.
Then put it away. And if you feel that maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you can always take it out later, but you can't hide it once it's out, right? So,
That,
mm.
that is true. So,
And last person that tried to take it from us, we end up having a kill. So,
right.
yeah.
It'd be great if we could visit a place and not have to kill anybody or anything.
They stabbed me so hard.
I know.
And then Sylvania was pretty fun. We didn't have to tell anybody there.
That's true.
Hopefully,
Hopefully
but
that
most
doesn't happen here.
places there's death. So let's make this one, death free if possible.
I like this plan.
It's a strong plan.
Very aspirational, but we could make it happen.
Who wants to talk?
Not it.
No nose.
We've discussed this already. I don't have a nose.
Got it. You're right. I'm sorry.
All right. So somebody knows that they're talking. I guess.
I'm pushing Baldwin, like push him so he stumbles forward.
No.
Good
Have
at it. Oh,
the person who doesn't like talking in public. This is really good. This is a really
But
good
you're
idea.
so good at it.
Well, it's like it was my job before or something, but then I didn't do it. It's so weird.
I'll cast guidance on Baldwin as he's moving forwards.
All right.
As I shove him.
Sounds good.
I give him words of encouragement. It has no magical effect, but maybe it feels good.
Well, what do you say? I just say words of encouragement and everything encouraging. When you say nose goes or whatever you say, don't have a nose. Even when I was a person, it's
Who goes?
wonderful.
So you're moving forward, and like Baldwin, you're reluctantly taking the point.
Sure.
Okay. So they seem to notice that. And you hear telepathically in your mind, so only Baldwin can hear this. Greetings, traveler. You have arrived at the base of the Spire. This is Dendradis. Please state your business.
Thank you for the introductions. My name is Baldwin, and we are looking for a lost companion who we lead to believe has gone to this location. A modron, if you will.
A modron, here in Dendradis. When do you believe that they have entered our city?
If only we know for sure, but probably within the past month.
Impossible.
Well, from what I understand, that there was a he's gone missing for quite a while. We aren't 100% sure where it is. We're following every single lead we've been to, almost everywhere possible in this place. We've heard that there was a mishap of recently, and perhaps he has gone in and no one has known. But our sources say that he's come here. Is it possible that could have missed it?
That
times have been
seems
real,
highly unlikely.
but not improbable. I'm sure you have been well aware of the strange goings on here.
We have been taking it very seriously, the disturbances that have been happening in the Outlands and the glitch that is affecting the multiverse. That is why we are keeping an extra vigilant watch on our city and ensuring that no non-Realmani are allowed entry.
That is without a proper escort, I assume.
Do you have a escort?
Not at present. And as I say, as I get closer to the tower, I'm just gonna just like loosen myself up a little bit. I'm gonna get a sense of the area. And is there any portals nearby? As I'll use my Horizon Walker thing.
Yeah, it's like a mile radius, right?
A mile radius just from where we are. Is if there's anything.
No.
Nothing.
As you're waiting and maybe trying to puzzle the like they've put together a pretty they pretty much shut down like any entertaining any kind of conversation about coming in. The gate opens and a third Realmani strides out. So this one looks different than the others. I think these first two, they're wearing cloaks and everything. The metal or the appearance of metal on their body is very lustrous, but like kind of more of like a silverish sheen. And this third one is coming out as more of like a copper cast to them. But they've got like a parchment in their hands, and they walk up right next to the other two. And this one doesn't speak, it doesn't communicate to you with telepathy. It actually, like, it doesn't have like a mouth or anything, but there's vocalization that comes from it. It's speaking in common. Everybody can hear what this third Romani is saying, and it says, kind of like a chipper, feminine voice that just says, "Excuse me, folks." And then she like opens up the scroll, and it's a wanted poster. And like she's got several of these that she's like flipping through. Now, and like it's like very detailed. It is like perfect rendering of what each of you looks like. And like she holds like one of them up to Cerebella. Like it couldn't be any more obvious that it's Cerebella, but she still asks, "Is this you? Are you the ones in this?"
Okay, now that seems like it would be a simple question, but again, I'm not entirely responsible for everything this body has done. I don't know what it did before I got here.
I can't, but it is you, right?
It is the body I am currently inhabiting, yes.
All right. Yeah, I think this is all, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And does the posters look like current us, not past us?
They look like current you.
Okay.
Can we see like who like where they're issued from, like where they're from? Who?
Yes, they are issued through the Harmonium, or would it be the Harmonium? Actually, I'm gonna say it's the Mercy Killers. Like there's like a stamp that Baldwin would like recognize. He probably saw it when he was in the prison or whatever. Like that's on there, and all of there's writing on like each of them that says wanted for crimes against the multiverse.
Wow, even the name is on it too, huh?
Say, have you seen a modron come through here?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. There have been some folks that have said that there was a modron that came through here a while back. Are you looking for him?
Yes. How many of those posters do you have there?
These are the ones that we just got these from a fella. Came through.
Is there more
here
than
looking-
5?
Well, there's a 6th one, and she shows you another one that has a modron on it. It says Rome on it.
That's the one. Have you seen Have you seen him?
I haven't, but we need to find him. And it's so good that the 5 of you roll up here like this, because seems like you might be the ones that can help find him.
You'd think, maybe, but considering that's all we've been trying to do for like months with very little success, I mean, we think that this might be the place to come, but how else are we going to find him, right? Like, this has been a real tough journey.
Looking for him.
You can see the other, like the 2 guards are looking at this third Romani, and it seems like they're kind of trying to like put their hands on her shoulders and kind of walk her back, and she's like, no. These are the same folk from these wanted posters. The rest of the world is saying, the rest of the Outlands, the people up there are saying that they have something to do with what's going on. Why don't we invite them in? And you could just tell, like, they're kind of like,
Yeah.
It's a real shame we can't get in without an escort.
It seems like we have an escort.
You mind being our escort? That would be really kind of you.
And then she's like puts her hand like over her chest and she says, "By my pledge, I will pledge by our rules, by our law, they will be my responsibility. I will go with them. I will be their escort within our hallowed city. We're going to need their help. There's no one has been able to find the reason why this is all happening. We need to open our doors." And it seems like the two guards, they don't like, they're not exasperated. They don't sigh or anything like that, but there's just like a reluctance to like how they move. But she makes this offer, and apparently doing this pledge must be like the thing that they are bound to not refuse, because they just like wordlessly like step back and then they gesture towards the gate. She's just come on, friends. Are these really your names on these posters? Can I call you these names?
What does it look like our name?
Yeah, it's like
what are the
it's
names?
all your names that you go
Oh,
by.
okay.
Sure. What's your name?
Acetellus.
Acetellus. All right.
Come on.
What do you do here besides escort us?
Well, right now I'm been trying to investigate the nature of what's going on with the multiverse.
So you're like an investigator?
Yeah, it's a good word for it. Yeah, fact finder. Yeah, investigator. Haven't come up with much, but I have been recording a lot of the anomalies that have been happening. I think I overheard in my mind's. I was overhearing conversation with you. She's pointing at Baldwin. Maybe you've seen some of this phenomenon going on, so I don't need to tell you all about it. But there's definitely, things are happening in the gate towns that are contrary to their alignment. Like, I heard that there's a big encampment of fiends just outside of Excelsior.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fiend stuff going on. A lot of fiends showing up.
Yeah.
There was the pit fiend actually inside Excelsior, right? Or am I thinking of the wrong town?
Wow. I did not know about that actually inside the city.
Mm-hmm. They were in the forum.
I mean, this
But
is
you should make sure to record that and then make sure you include that when you give your findings to your boss.
well, it's really, it's ultimately about putting a stop to it.
Yeah. I think our goals are aligned. Like we want to put things right, but see, these wanted posters make it sound like we're the problem when there's clearly something else going on here.
Well, you don't have to worry about these posters. I just had them, collected them from those that are looking for you. But it
You said
was,
someone brought them by pretty recently.
I think you are likely being hunted by a number of organizations and factions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are scared right now. A lot of talk throughout the Outlands and the multiverse of some are saying, well, all sorts of things. Some are saying that the Lady of Pain is dead. Some are saying that the gods are dying. Some are saying that great evils are coming back. Things that have long been disposed. This is all the panicked talk of people looking for answers. A lot of blame is being laid at your feet that you're the cause.
Seem pretty quick to believe us.
I've run out of leads, and I'm eager to know what you've learned. you are coming here looking for the modron for some reason. Maybe there's a clue in that.
Have you seen the modron? You said no. Is that right?
I have not seen him, but something brought you here and you're looking for him. It's
Right.
possible. It's unlikely that he's in the city, but maybe he's in the Spire.
Maybe he left us a. Sometimes we find clues, along the way. It's almost like, I don't know. We get pointed in different directions. I
W-
am kind of curious. We've been talking a lot about, the fiends showing up in weird places. Initially, it was a fiend, right, that sent us on the search for this modron through a bunch of lies, I might add. A lying fiend.
Does the name Shemeska mean anything to you?
She is quite infamous. Yes. The owner of Fortune's Wheel.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't have the kind of power to glitch all this out like this, would she?
No. At least not without help. And as you're talking, I'm imagining that you're in, like, you've walked into something that's like almost like a crystalline elevator, and it's going to be, you're going to be in this thing for probably 20 minutes, rising up to the top. So you're just sitting all alone in this enclosed area, kind of talking and chatting, and you're starting to see like this pretty incredible view of the Outlands as you're rising up along the sides of the Spire. You can see various gate towns that you've been to. Probably, you could probably see Rigus way out. You could see the bog where we had a little interlude where you hung out with some lizard folk and things like that. You can see the forest that you were in the previous night. You can, all these sights, big winged dragons flying through the sky. You probably even see that temple to the time dragons off in the distance where you met back up with them. So
Baz is going to be cataloging all these places as he sees them, and he's going to look at Clack and sort of say, like, so the idea here is this time we're going to do it carefully. Just like we said on the way in, right?
We'll try.
I'd say, what's her name? What's this person's name? Acetellus. Is there what's like the custom here? Is there anything we should be careful to not do? We don't want to step on anyone's toes here and cause any trouble. That we're really pretty careful and good guys here. We don't want to cause any trouble.
Well, I guess don't take it personally, but you being here is not ever done. So if people aren't, I guess if I say, like, if they aren't very friendly, I'm kind of underselling it. Like, probably no one's going to talk to you without maybe a lot of warm up from me, like kind of setting them up, because we just don't have outsiders here. So people are probably just aren't going to be very warm. I'm sorry
So where do you
about
think
that.
where do you think we should start looking for our companion?
You mentioned inside the spire.
I mean, tell me why. How did you come to be here anyway? Why do you think that Rome is here?
Have you? I'm gonna kind of look around. Have you ever heard of a Mimir?
Yes. And you have one that told you that he's here?
Yes.
Well, we had one, but somebody stole it from us.
Hmm. Is there a way to get it back? Because if it led you here, maybe it could lead us to Rome? I mean, I just... Someone would have seen the modron if it was in the city. And so if you were saying that it came here, if it's still here, it's likely in the Spire. Now, what does that look like? The tunnels through the Spire, it could take a long time. It is an impossibly large place, but I guess we got to start somewhere.
Well, maybe we could ask around to see if anybody else has seen it.
We certainly can. Oh, here we are. And like the doors to the little elevator open up, and now you find yourselves walking out onto this just flat, very, very glossy surface of this walkway that connects this tower with another that's some maybe 200 feet away from you. There's no guardrails. As soon as you step out, there's like a gust of wind that like blasts against you, and you like have to like grab onto the elevator just because like it's like standing on top of like the tallest skyscraper and then like looking down and realizing there's nothing preventing you from falling over the edge. But she walks out with complete grace, and she's got a body that's built to like just naturally stabilize itself and keep itself grounded, and it seems to have like no issues with that, and walks out onto the ledge.
Clack
Well,
is gonna like
it's a day of firsts. I go out.
Clack is probably gonna get like kind of like real low, like almost like kind of start crawling across the bridge, just to like kind of limit anything that can catch the wind.
So
Make some goofy.
as you all are you all carefully finding a way to like likewise walk out here? So she's kind of walking and talking with you, and she says, so we have to identify who do we think would be most likely to have seen Rome. Well, we could ask the Plumox. Those are the artisans that you see all about. And she kind of gestures around to the various individuals, Baz, that you saw that are kind of building up the crystal. And she says, these are those that are tasked with building our great city and constructing everything that you see before you. And she's going to point down into kind of the crevice now that you're up here, kind of down towards like this giant Titan inside the crevice down at its feet. You can see that it's not like a flat wall behind the Titan. Like that is like a crevice that goes deeper into the spire. And she says, now that is the way in. If anybody saw anything go in, it would be any of these workers. But again, we just got to find somebody and get them talking.
Would we know what this Titan is? Like, what it's doing here, or?
No, none of you would.
Yeah, we tried asking the mirror
Yeah,
before
but
going in.
now that we can see it, like we can't.
Oh.
And we're not supposed to ask about it.
Well, let's tell us. I happen to notice this. I guess this whatever this enormous, like, frankly, awe-inspiring figure that's in the spire. What is it?
We don't. You shouldn't ask that. I can't tell you. But
It's fine.
don't ask that question. It makes people really uncomfortable. Anyway,
Oh, the
Uncomfortable.
elephant in the room, huh?
Uncomfortable?
she's
I don't
like,
think that.
okay.
I don't think that's the word I would. Uncomfortable.
Now there's
Nervous
just more
giggle.
Now I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, Romani, and I notice that this is just my observations as Daw. Their hands look very similar in terms of structure and somewhat facial features, a little bit, just from this art. So he has his own thoughts, but I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, I think.
3 fingers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it does the. I accidentally
similar
closed
looking.
out the. I accidentally closed out the city picture, but the one in the like the statue, it has more of like a swirly kind of thing, right? Or is it the? Or is it the same?
Yeah, it's like a diamond sort of shape.
Oh, okay.
Yep, definitely some similarities to that. But she very quickly tries to move off of the topic and go back to, let's go talk to some workers, huh? I could introduce you to a few people that I know.
What are they building here, all these workers?
Oh, they are building up our great city. You can tell, and plus things need maintenance from time to time. But yeah, this community has been here for a long time. It is one of many communities here in the Spire for the Romani.
Are all the Romani communities built into the Spire?
Some are further in. Ours is the only on the edge.
Well, do they all look like this? Like these crystal
Yeah.
structures?
Yeah. In terms of architecture, we all have a very similar aesthetic. Not all of them construct their cities out of crystals. Some are of other stones and materials, but in terms of the style, it is all very similar. I hear there's one that's pure gold.
Wow. Does that one have like a hole in the wall too, or is it just this one?
Oh no! We are the only city on the edge of the Spire.
What is this big gap from? Is that part of the don't ask? The big crack in the wall.
Well, the Spire is a place of pure neutrality. And it reflects the center of the multiverse. And at times, influences throughout wax and wane. Sometimes the law gains a greater hold, sometimes chaos. These forces have a physical impact here. And thus, we build to try to reclaim that neutrality that is supposed to be so sacred here.
And I don't remember how long it was ago, but when we were traveling through the Outlands, we saw a big event seem to happen to the Spire where it looked like it was breaking apart. Did you experience that?
I have received reports of others who have witnessed that phenomenon. We did not feel that here, but again, it goes on the long list of strange things that are happening, and it makes me concerned for the very fabric of existence. The laws of the multiverse have their purpose. Balance is essential for the functioning of everything. And that is why
you're saying if the Spire isn't here, if this perfect neutrality center isn't here, everything will unravel. Is that
yes,
the theory?
yes, that is our purpose. That is, we are the anchor to try to hold it all together. All of the gate towns are on their fringes of thought and belief and morality, and we try to keep it all balanced. That is why we must find your modron friend. We need to put a stop to all of this. And I fear we're running out of time.
Yeah. Do we trust her, guys? I mean, call a spade, let her in on all the tools at her disposal. Do we trust her?
So I would kind of nod, but then turn around and say, "No way. I don't trust her." But we should go talk to the builders.
Yeah, I think though at some point we might have to decide. I mean, you don't have to trust her, but holding back things is only going to get us so far too.
Oh,
So
you can go. You can tell her about the Mimir. That's fine.
I'm not going to be the one to do that, but
I mean, are you able to tell when the Mimir is you have to have the mirror out to see how it's acting?
I don't know. Am I able to kind of if I have it kind of hidden away in my bag, do I feel it bumping into the bag at all, or?
No, you'd have to have it out.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Then I'd share that. It has to be out.
because I mean, we can talk to these guys and see if they've seen something, but I don't want to go wandering tunnels aimlessly for no reason,
Yeah, it's seems our paths align enough. Guessing if the intentions will be known soon enough anyway. Right? We're already here. So might as well. We're all good with that?
I am. I think in the interest of time, there's a time to just lay the cards on the table, right?
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
All right.
So the thing, I was looking at Baldwin and waiting for him to say
Listen, I
anything.
don't understand why we're just trying to lie through. I guess just get out of the earshot of the other cards. We do have a Mimir, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Oh, you found
Yeah.
it. Good. Did you
Yeah.
bring the thief to justice?
Yeah.
Oh no,
I
they
guess the thief
they
was-
stole a
In a
different
way.
one. They stole a different one
Oh,
or something.
Well, it's good to always have a backup Mimir.
There was someone that was dead set on getting this baby.
That's why you understand why we
I almost died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It wasn't fun.
I see. I see. That it's the original Mimir. Okay. That's fine. But you have it. That's good.
Yeah. I do.
Well, can it?
Well. He's still he's like, I know this is what we got to do, but it still feels weird. And so he's gonna take out the Mimir and let it like, okay. So yeah, when it's out, kind of been giving us hints, and for our last hint, it told us to come here and has kind of been gesturing towards the tower.
So anything that's happening now, Baz is just going to watch the escort person. He's not paying attention to the Mimir or anything. He just wants to see what's happening with them.
I'll just say this, like, it's going to be very strange, like, trying to pick up any social cues from a Rilmani just because of the nature of them. But, yeah, in terms of what are they up to and what they're doing, that makes sense. But right now, they're just, yeah, I guess they're watching Clack, hoping to see the magic of the Mimir. And so you pull it out.
Well, yeah, he's gonna take it out, and I don't remember if they had luck earlier, but he's gonna kind of ask like to direct, like for the Mimir to direct them towards Rome. Maybe even like spell out the whole name, like R04M.
It like pauses. Like, again, it's like another one of those, like, it can't answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually it spits out, I'm trying to think of like the right way. Like, this goes back to what I sent you guys like earlier, that like if I say something, like, then it like won't make sense. Something might not make sense later. But I'm gonna say it says charting path of the Great Modron March, and it starts to kind of like, it looks like it's like dipping down, like it wants to go down to where the feet of that Titan are, which is probably a good indication that it may be somewhere inside the Spire. And
then he's gonna look up at their escort and just be like, huh?
Well, where you're escorting us closer to that giant
We're not talking about
feller. We're not like asking about.
Well, we can certainly get down there. Do you still want to talk to some Romani?
Yeah, we could ask quickly if anyone's seen.
My cousin's up there. We could go talk to them.
Ask your cousin. Yeah. They're trustful.
You're walking around on these, you're going into towers and then taking them elevators up to get to another walkway, to get out on a walkway, to go to another tower, to go down a few, it's like this maze of connections. But eventually she takes you to where there's like clearly like a walkway that's in progress. Like it's like a crystal bridge to nowhere, seemingly. It just like juts out into like kind of the nothingness, almost like scaffolding just above like this thing's like elbows. And she brings you over, and she like is talking to you all, and she's like, so this is my cousin Basatellis. And well, he's working right now. Hold on one second. She seems to like be in telepathic communication with him. And then like he stops, he's got this like little tool that's like emitting this like little blue flame that he's been using to kind of, and with his other hand he's like kind of weaving almost magically so this like matter that he like then like, it's like a glass blower kind of, creating crystal out of nothing kind of thing. But he stops, he turns that off, and he stops. He looks almost identical to her, kind of a copper skin and everything like that, or copper, whatever you want to call it, skin, outer shell. And he turns to you all, and he's just kind of like, it looks like he's looking around to try to figure out like who he's supposed to be talking to.
Go ahead.
Clack will take a little step forward and be like, have you seen a modron with the identification of R04M? we've been calling him Rome. Or any evidence of a great or minor modron march.
No.
Well,
All right. Has
I'll
anyone
step
else
forward.
spoken of ROAM?
Yes.
Oh. Who?
what?
Listen,
this isn't the noise a DM is supposed to make.
I was expecting like something Stellus or something Tellus, and I got.
Oh, what?
You okay?
It says, I can give you 5 names
Oh.
of people
May
who
I-
allege they saw a modron within the last 50 years.
Oh. How about within the last month or two?
Okay. 2 names.
All right.
Alex thinking of a name noise. Yeah. Pretty much.
Stallus and Stellus.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think of like
Cassitellus.
stupid.
Cassitellus and the...
Yeah.
So he gives you 2 names and like
All right.
points to like very disparate places on the complex. You know, like there's one that's
Oh,
way up there and
no.
the other one's like way down there.
Oh man.
have you witnessed anything out of the ordinary as of recently?
Yes.
What kind of thing have you witnessed?
Sometimes the crystal beneath our feet looks like there's eyes staring up at us. Like little marbles stuck in the crystal work. And then they go away.
Has it becoming more frequent as of recently? Or is it not often?
Frequent. Often.
A little disturbing.
Yes.
I will step back from the speaking position.
They follow you around when they show up, looking at you.
They stare, follow with their gaze. Hateful.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if they seemed like fiendish eyes or if they reminded you of anything in particular.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Chaotic.
Can you describe physic? Oh, I guess he did that already. Said like little marbles. Says player-wise, I was curious if they looked at all like Shemeska's eyes, where they were kind of like, I think they were like kind of golden with like the slit pupils kind of thing. Like maybe he'll kind of like ask to like repeat again, like, hey, like, do they match this description, or like seeing if you can connection.
No.
Okay. No.
I have a question that I guess I just maybe it's taken for granted that I might know this, but when you say that this whole spire kind of neutralizes what's going on the outside, what do you mean? Say it gets extremely chaotic, then what happens here? Do the crystals like get, I don't know, more jagged, or what, or the spire itself, or what?
You're asking the worker?
Yeah, I'm asking both of them, the people that work there, like if they know what it does.
Man, I don't like talking this much.
Oh, sorry. Well, then yeah.
He like kind of looks. He looks at his cousin and like is like. He starts up his torch again, and then she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I can answer that question for you."
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know. I figured. I don't know.
He's a little simple, and he doesn't hear it or whatever, or he's willfully ignoring it. She's like, "No, we just have to redouble our efforts to keep the spire whole, and when there are things, a lot of times the multiverse will correct itself, but when there is something you're asking, I think, about extraordinary events,
right? Yeah.
well, those are few and far between. Usually there are forces that correct those things. The gods of opposite alignment send messages down through their faithful, or in the case of law and order and good gaining too much of a stronghold, well, the fiends and otherworldly deities, they start putting the word into the minds of their cultists and start whipping up chaos. The pendulum shift all throughout usually equals out. But in rare instances, like we're living through right now, that is when we have to get involved.
I see. I understand.
And so then who would benefit from these glitches? Like if this was intentional and not just something completely out of anyone's control, like if this is something manufactured, who would benefit from that? It seems like the whole multiverse would suffer.
Well, I wish I had an answer to that. It'd probably help with solving what's going on or what the motives are.
Yeah.
The last time this happened, it was because a long dead god was trying to undo that process and come back to life through unnatural ways.
Oh, okay. Was that what delayed the Modron March in the
Yes.
past, right? Are there any other undead gods that might want to be coming back? Like, is that something that could happen again?
Could be. It could be. The common piece there is the modrons.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to see kind of like this. I don't know if it was real or just a hallucination, but Modron's marching, and then they turn into those face things, fiendish face things.
I think you're onto something. That has to be what it is. The last time, well, I guess we can say his name now. Orcus killed the Modron god and assumed his place, and then used that to sow chaos and discord throughout the multiverse. Now, could it be that someone is manipulating Modrons again?
The only name I could think of might be like just first gut instinct is Shemeska, because she's the one who sent us on this journey, and she is also like kind of like fiendish and had an interest in Modrons. Was there any other beings? Like I can't think of any like
Unless
that.
it's her boss. Maybe we don't know. Maybe she's
Oh,
like, her
yeah,
god or her boss or something, right?
that's true. We really don't know much about Shemeska,
No.
so it could be, yeah.
She is. Not much is known about her, but she is a Yugoloth.
Oh yeah, they're like known for like collecting information, right?
Yeah, they're kind of known for not taking a side in the Blood War. Like, they're very mercenary, typically.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But no strong allegiances. They're usually very self-serving.
What is there to gain by sowing chaos? Since that is what's been happening. Or what is there to gain by disrupting the multiverse?
I know. That is the question. Who benefits? I've watched a lot of, Law and Order, those kind of shows where you got to have yep. Once you know who benefits, you can
Yeah.
find the bad guy.
What? When's the next Modron march? Is it?
Have we? I don't know if we've asked that question yet. Have we?
It would be a considerable length of time from now. 80. We'll say like 80 years from now. Not an imminent event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so even if we trace it back to Shemeska, it may not be obvious who she's working for, because if she's a mercenary, kind of working for her own, either her own means or whoever can pay the highest. Fortune's Wheel. Somehow these pieces are going to fit together. We're going to figure this out. We know we figure this out. We just got to keep picking up the pieces, get more of the puzzle.
So is it worth talking to the two names that the worker gave us, or should we just follow the Mimir's pull to the bottom?
Clack is probably willing to just go straight down because the wind is scaring him on these bridges.
Well, and wasn't one of the people that, I don't know, the cousin pointed out down at the bottom anyway, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So you all do, 30 so minutes later, you get down there and can talk to the friend of the cousin, and eventually you keep following this. Eventually you'll have a long list, talking to all these Romani and finally getting to somebody that's met Rome would take a long time, but you could do that if you wanted. You'll go and you'll talk to them. They'll say, no, it wasn't actually me that saw it, but it was Jeff up there. So you've got some indication that Rome has been spotted at the very least. He'll tell you he heard that he saw him going in there. You'll get the information you need. We don't have to play it all out, but to get the specific details, you'd have to do some checks and spend probably a couple of days running around talking to Romani, just because of how kind of shy they are at talking with you all and such, even with your escort. But I think you've got probably what you need, unless there's like more pointed questions you want to ask other than, have you seen Rome? Which way did it go?
Just that if we're running up and down this place over and over, like, I want to sort of keep looking at the big Titan to see if there's any kind of markings or anything that are, just interesting on it.
Not in terms of like writings or anything like that. Probably what you would ascertain from just being in proximity to this thing is that it feels like it's almost like a mummified body. Like it's not a statue, right? Hey, Grape Ape, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Good sleep. Yeah, I mean, you could conjecture all day long about what this is. Is this thing a dead god? Is this
Right?
thing is it a real Mani god? Like Baldwin had pointed out, it has some features that seem similar. There's just, it seems like it's the whatever it is, it's very important to the Romani, and it is like a Romani only piece of information that they do not share with anyone, and is probably the subject of many dissertations by wizards that have ever seen this place, trying to figure out what the hell this thing is.
In that case, I guess let's just head on down, follow the Mimir. Since there's not, I heard from a friend of a cousin of a friend.
My husband's sister's friend's dog's neighbor.
My dog's brother.
Well, you start to make your way down. Issac is whistling as you go. She's very cheery.
How does that work?
And you get down to right underneath this being, and she's going to start to lead you further in. You got a little bit of a tug and pull from the Mimir, but the thing that you need to understand is you're not walking through tunnel like in the Underdark or a cave. Like, this passageway is miles wide.
Oh,
And
wide?
it's miles wide.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like being in the vastness of just dark, right? Like, you can't see there's no stalactites or anything you can see. There's no walls. So you're like, you got your torches, you can light stuff up, but like, you're just projecting an aura of light around you as you're moving through darkness.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of eerie.
I'm not like actually in it, but I can see what you're saying, and it makes me so uncomfortable.
and the problem with that is, the Mimir is kind of pulling you, but like, you just have very little to go on in terms of, like, you've got the dirt under your feet, right? And it is sandy. It's like a sand that covers the floor. So it's pretty uniform.
It's like a cave desert or something.
And probably as you say that she will say, well, how did you know what this place was called? That is exactly what it is.
Are you kidding?
This is the desert of rust.
Wow. You know, I mean, of course, it just seems like anyone would come to that conclusion, right?
I feel like I should be like leaving like a breadcrumb trail. I've got 1,000 ball bearings I've never used. Like maybe I'll
Gonna
just like
leave them in sand.
The desert of rust. So the ball bearings.
shit.
Here's
Like
to
leaving
tell
a
us.
trail of sand in a desert.
That's right. Here's to tell us. When the modron marches happen, do the modrons come back? Like, if this is the path they led to, do they go in and do they come out through, I guess, your city, or you don't know?
I'm trying to think, like, would she have investigated that? Probably. We'll say yes. She would say her understanding is that the last time that the march came through, that they came here and then left.
I'm gonna ask her, do you know, like, where does this go? Do you just walk forever, or does it actually resolve itself somewhere?
She will admit to you that she has not traveled through here much beyond where you currently are, but she has seen, maybe she's seen maps of it before, and her understanding of it is that there are smaller tunnels at some point that wind off of this main initial desert, but that this is going to be an incredible journey going through this desert before you get to branching paths. And so she says, we need to find something that we can go off of in terms of a trail, so that we know what tunnel, what direction specifically to go down. The Mimir may help us a little bit, but hopefully we can find something more substantial.
Do you have any? Is there any wildlife or flora that could survive in, I guess, the desert of rust?
Maybe we'll find something.
Only thing I could imagine is
Fungus.
like the rust monsters.
Find those.
I kind of remember. I don't know if this is kind of too late or it's just dawning on me, but do these modrons have a connection with the person or the modron above them?
The communication.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Do they have that? So if we talk to someone high enough, would they be able to locate this? I never even thought to think of that. Would that even be possible, or is that not how it works?
It's more probably. It wouldn't work quite like that. She would say, you know, they obey, like that's the chain of command, but they're not necessarily a hive mind.
Okay.
It was a good thought, and maybe it's kind of a relief that you know it's not. Because otherwise, it's like, why didn't we just do that in the first place, right?
So, yeah, that's why I wasn't really. I mean, to be honest, I'm a bit more engaged probably now than I was when we first started this whole thing.
You're very clear-minded now. It's different side of you.
That monodrone carriage could have told us where he could have been this whole time?
Oh my god.
All we gotta do is just talk to Diesel.
So if it seems like this is kind of impossible to just go down here, and what other lead do we have?
Oh, nothing's impossible if you really put your heart to it.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that's great. I
mean,
understand.
Yeah, I got
I
that.
understand that, but what I'm saying is that this, you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's not possible, but time consuming. Sounds like.
Well, right now, all we ever have on our side is this time and what we carry with us. I plan to go in. I don't know about you. If you don't want to, that's fine. It's the only thing we got.
Zillon.
I don't know.
Zillon seems to be enjoying himself. He's diving into the sand and burrowing in, and oh,
Look at how happy he is.
Feeling the spark of joy for the first time in a while.
Does
He
this
does look
remind
so
you of
happy.
something, Zillon?
he just pokes his head up and he's like, "I hate this." And then he burrows back down.
Yeah, your words say one thing, but the actions seem a little joyful. So,
As you're standing about, trying to figure out what direction to go, whether this is a good idea to continue on and such, all of a sudden, something falls from up above and lands like 10 feet away from the group, but it kicks up like all this sand and dust, and like kind of having to like shield your eyes so you don't get it all in your eye, inside your eyeballs and everything like that. And it looks like whatever fell past you, it looks like a body that has dropped there.
Oh,
It's like ages old, like leather armor, kind of chewed up, eaten up, body of a young man. It's partially like decomposed.
well,
It seems like it just fell like from.
Yeah.
We can't see what's above us, right?
No, it just
Okay.
fell from the darkness, wherever that darkness is from up above you.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
I'll
Does
get
this
sort-
happen? Does this happen a lot?
And she's just like, no, I don't think so.
I'll go towards the body.
yeah, I'll help you check it out. Let's see what we can discover, huh?
And it looks like Baz's previous body.
Well, that's strange.
Like all messed
A
up
little
as his
bit.
previous body?
Yeah, because he had the, what was it? The curse.
Had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, whatever
Curse.
those afflictions were, if there was physical.
Oh, the slod thing?
Yeah, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
had the curse as well.
Yeah.
The flying head
Right.
thing, slot
Yeah,
thing.
Right.
Yeah, like the skin is like really tight against the bone, and like, probably that feeling of like your head was about to pop off.
That's right.
So do you guys tell me that?
I think I will say to Baldwin, what do we do? Would you want to know?
What do you guys see?
It looks really kind of decomposed. It's what should we do? Come on.
Loot the
Well,
body.
For starters, does it look like there was an axe swing that, did this individual in, or is it just like if previous Baz died of the causes that would have Baz, this is how it would have been?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember how we resolved that off camera. Like there was kind of you hear a noise and the birds fly away into the sky. That was kind of how we resolved that. So whatever that act of death was is
All right.
apparent here on this body.
Probably nothing. I'll stand up and just turn around and say, "It's just a cadaver. I'm more concerned with what might be above than what this is."
I think
I'd say,
I think we gotta say this could be important. We don't know what's important.
"Say what you must."
Okay, now this might be a bit upsetting, but you know how sometimes we're in different bodies, right? This is a familiar one. So you may not want to look if you've previously inhabited a different body. And I know that applies to a few of us, but I think it's all information we should have because knowledge is power. And yeah, we don't know what is important and what isn't. So,
Well, it's either me or you, Zilloff, because
or
Yeah.
Baldwin, but
oh.
yeah, it's
But I
you.
I
Yeah,
thought
it's
because you guys were
you
both
know.
seeing it.
Yeah, it's you. But you know, you might not want to look because it's too. It is kind of
Which me? Which me?
yeah, not that you right this minute, but you know, one of your former selves. So you know that could be disturbing. You may not want. It's totally your choice.
What?
But didn't you
Why?
guys bury
Yes.
me?
And
Yes.
that is why I think it's important information, right? Why is it here? Why is it here now? Why? I
Did
don't
you
know.
bury me and I just kept falling through?
That
I
would
don't
be
think.
weird. I don't think we were here when we buried you.
Oh, what
I
is here? Here doesn't
I know.
mean anything.
Maybe it's being drawn to us because we are the glitch, right? And all glitches. I have no idea. But that's why, as disturbing as it is, I think we should all have the information.
I'm not gonna go look. I'm turning around, and in fact, I'm turning my back.
I think that's very wise. But
Black,
just out of curiosity, is there anything you might have wanted that we could just retrieve for you? I mean, since there's this opportunity, I just
No,
no.
I mean,
Okay,
I
all right.
feel like you would have, I would have given you anything important,
Well,
like my
yeah.
money.
Okay.
Clack,
No, I'm not looking.
you're from a desert-like area, correct?
Yes.
And you went out hunting quite often, and
Mm-hmm.
this all feels like a little bit of deja vu being here in the Desert of Rust, and there's like, I don't know how to exactly say this, but you know, olfactory senses, smell,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very powerful thing. There's just like
Dry
something
taste.
about the ambiance here, and there's like a smell, like almost like this foul, kind of like BO smell that you detect just very faint. Like probably nobody else is concerned about it or can even pick up on it, but it's just something that's unique to you that reminds you of like the moments before your Thry-Kreen self died. And so you're just like it's kind of like this memory of like you're feeling on edge probably a little bit.
That is the smell of a foot.
Big stinky foot smell for sure.
Big stinky foot smell. Clack would definitely be kind of like he is looking around.
It's very, very subtle, but
Mm-hmm.
you're sensitive to it.
You okay?
It smells like feet.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, not you. He's looking up. He's not looking down at your feet. He's looking up. I don't. He's gonna look at the mirror. Which way we going, bud? Let's go. Let's go.
And it starts to pull you in a direction into the darkness.
All right. Let's. I don't hear anything walking, but I don't want to be here for another thing falling from the sky. And he's gonna like take a couple steps forward, like look back, make sure people are following so they don't get left behind in the darkness. But you can tell he's kind of like all right, like, let's get moving. He's nervous.
Let's get out of here. Baz is uncomfortable as well.
All right. Would one of you can decide who is best suited for this? Give me a survival check.
Go ahead.
That's
Oh.
your bonus.
Negative.
Yeah. Well, I have
Oh,
a
no.
negative, so I don't have any
Shit.
fingers.
Yes. I wasn't
Survival
raising my
check.
hand. I was giving you 5.
Negative.
Survival check.
I think that might be you, Lyra.
All right, I'm survivaling checking.
Unless we need investigation.
And I will remember that for next time as
Oh,
we end the
no.
session.
Look at my +8 though. It's nice.
Oh, the +8 is nice because if I would have rolled that, we would have
no.
gotten a 0. So
That's not good.
we're gonna die in the
like no-
desert of rust.
Yeah.
It sounds like the
Wandering.
It's like
So guys, just remember, 9
stinky.
is very just a little below average. It's
Yeah.
okay. You're
yeah.
just a little less than the average person walking around.
So Hika Free Shrug says that's the classic D&D right there.
That's how she goes.
Yup.
You rolled a 1. We will see what happens next time. Well, hope you guys had fun getting back into the groove a little bit here tonight. To those that are watching, we're 20 Sides to Every Story. Thanks for hanging out with us. We run this game. I think we're going to call it 7:30 start time going forward. I'm not like in a super rush at this point. My class is done. My writing project's done. And I just need that extra 30 minutes to get Arthur dealt with. So, yeah, I think we're going to do those. We're going to be 7:30 start time on this on Wednesdays going forward. If you haven't joined our Discord server, please jump in there. Links in the chat. And we're going to close out as we do, kind of chatting a little bit about the session and giving each other gratitude for what was fun, what made it memorable, what did we enjoy from our fellow players.
I'll have mine go first and have it pretty simple. Let's go straight for Alex. Just, getting all these wonderful NPC names out and wonderful answers to questions of someone who doesn't want to answer.
Mhm.
And the answer of,
I'm gonna
that's so good.
piggyback off that and say thank you, Alex, for having to be threading the needle through all these answers and just trying your best to not hand it over and blap it out, but at the same time not give us nothing. So yes, this is very interesting. And I have no idea.
That's good.
We're getting there, but I feel like we might be finding out pretty soon.
I'm gonna
I
guess
bet you-
I'm gonna guess 2 sessions away before big answers, but
Stinky.
I'd like to send my gratitude to Dawson for having Baldwin step forwards and try to do the talking, because nobody else wants to do it.
Getting
That's
getting
Nose
a
goes,
funny
nose
running
goes.
gag. Although I was going to say there were 2 moments tonight where Clack kind of took leadership, and I always think that's cool to see, because when you first introduced Clack, there was this imperious leader, and so now as our characters are developing, it just kind of there's this humble leader in Clack, and I thought it was really kind of cool because I wrote it down twice because I'm like, we all kind of get quiet, and then Clack kind of are you friend or foe? Like there were 2 times where the leader in Clack is coming through in a really neat way, and also with Zilloff, a couple times the comparison of I'm in a different state of mind than I was initially, and just being able to see that character growth, I think is really cool. So I'm gonna send that to the 2 of you.
I don't even know who specifically to thank because it just feels good to be back with the group again. To kind of get back into it. So it's I don't really know who to thank because it's just it feels good to be back with everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry if it feels like a cop-out answer, but it's just like, it's all I could think. I'm like, it's just good to be back.
It's not a cop out. That's nice to hear. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think Jenna, you brought up the bigger question, I think, of like who would be behind all of this and what would their motives be, and I don't know, it was like an interesting I think bigger picture question of like what, not just what's happening to us, but like, okay, there's a bigger, I don't know that we've had that conversation quite like that yet. So that was interesting to hear. You let it off and you framed it, but then other people were jumping in and filling in the blanks. And I think we got some good lore bits in there from that discussion. So, and yeah, they're like kind of piggybacking off of what Robyn had said. There are a couple of clack moments, and using the Mimir, I'd kind of honestly forgotten that. I was like, oh, like probably we would use it that way. So like it was clever that you thought to use it that way and ask some, use it as your Wikipedia to see what kinds of things will it tell you, and hopefully you feel that, like, I don't know, I'm trying to be very generous with that, and so then when you ask about this thing in the crevice and it doesn't know anything about that, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it gets me curious because it's like, all right, like, yeah, like you said, it's like a little Wikipedia. So like when Wikipedia doesn't know something, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, hold up, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Everything's on Wikipedia. Yeah, I'm having fun playing around with the Mimir. So sorry if I'm asking weird questions.
No, it's okay.
If I don't know it, I'm gonna ask it.
I think so far I found a way to not answer the judgment part of your question, just like give you a fact or something that's like related so that you could maybe make a judgment. We had the same issue in Dolmenwood with the campfire questions, because they serve like a similar thing. Like you're supposed to, maybe ask a question that you could get a piece of information about, not necessarily what should we do.
Not what's right. Yeah, what's right or wrong, or what should we do next?
Yep.
It's like,
All right. I just want to say thanks, guys. It was good to, I would agree with Jenna. It was good to get back into it, and perfect timing, I think, for us to have taken a break, because we just finished the D&D questing. We're going to go do all the quests thing, and now we're moving into some stuff that's like a little bit more substantial again. So that was like a perfect break that we could start this segment of the adventure off on this foot. So that was awesome. I'm just looking for, who do we raid tonight? I don't have a lot of channels that I see online. Let's go. We'll just do a raid to Perception Studio. They're probably playing with Muppets, but that's sometimes fun to watch. So, all right. Well, we'll throw the raid out there. Thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. Be back tomorrow night. And Casey and the crew will be back with another Vecna prequel adventure. Hey, Jacko Boom, thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Hope to see you next time. See ya, Hika. Good to see ya. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night.